grown to know and love. And today, viewers, yet another reason to celebrate this incredible man. His new album, Ear Food, is certainly rocking the territory. And today we're getting into it with Mr. Hoyte himself right after this commercial break. So stick with us.
Is business slow? Cash flow down? Hosting an upcoming event? We can help. Advertise with 284 Media and take your business or event to the next level by enhancing your present marketing and messaging strategies. Allow our team of experts to create a personalized ad that sets your business apart from all the rest. This could be your business or event. So, what are you waiting for? Contact our marketing team at 284media at cctbvi.com. Advertising with us works.
Viewers, as promised, joining us today is Mr. Brent Hoyte himself. Welcome, Brent.
Well, thank you so much for being here. I'm Javon. Good to be here, man.
All right. So, Brent, for as long as we've known you, it's been about music. Today we're celebrating a great milestone, an album that is definitely rocking the territory. A lot of persons have been really raving about this new album. But before we get into that, and for the few persons who probably live under a rock, just tell us a little bit about Brent Hoyte and who you are as a person.
Well, Brent Hoyte, simple. Brent is a funny dude, man. I
Agree.
I don't have how to describe myself, man. I just love to be around my family and friends. More or less. I'm a Christian. I'm a daddy. I nearly say I'm a wife, you know. I'm a husband. I'm married to Danielle Hoyte Sprout. That's my wife. So that's
So
a big
beautiful.
show. And I'm a daddy, as I said. And mainly me, I'm a musician. You know what I mean? I'm a musician from the time I know myself. From the time I was 3 years old. Music is all I know and I love. You know, so more in a nutshell, I'm a musician. Man. I'm a musician. That's all.
All right. And that was bred because you came from a Christian family. Would you say that?
More or less, yeah. I would say that. My parents too, as well, in terms of like music. My mom and dad plays all the instruments more or less. What I could play, they could play the same thing. I could play. And my dad more or less had a. When I look back and think about all the stuff that he actually did for me, I would say he's my number one, my inspiration in terms of keeping music and pursuing music even more, to be honest.
That is so cool. Now, I
Yeah.
know you produce gospel, but
Yeah.
what are some of your other influences, if you are inspired by other genres, that is?
Well, the whole thing with the gospel is the gospel has so many genres in it. So, for
Within
example,
itself, right.
So remember, I just want everybody to understand that the gospel is the message, you know.
Yes.
So growing up in the church, you know what I mean, I've been influenced by like reggae, gospel jazz, gospel hip hop, gospel soca, gospel, more or less all the genres. 'Cause all the genres are in gospel more or less, you know. And for me, jazz was always the one that stuck out for me, you know.
I get that sense from your music. I can
Yeah,
feel
jazz
it.
was always that one that stuck out to me. I always just love it. I always intrigued the mind, you know, like jazz and classical. But something about jazz, it was like you can express yourself so much more,
Right.
you know what I mean, than the rest genres. So I always stuck with jazz. And being a person who's always charismatic, you know, who always like,
Yes.
and you know, that's just wild. And I felt as though jazz was that genre for me to actually express myself how I wanted to express myself, you know. So I always
Definitely.
stuck with it. Yeah.
Just a few minutes ago, you were live, Brent, and you did mention that jazz kind of speaks for itself. Tell us more about that.
So jazz is more or less is a very intellectual genre. You know what I mean? Just like each genre has its purpose. Jazz has its purpose. Jazz is more or less to stimulate your mind. Jazz and classical, to be honest.
Yes.
It's to stimulate your mind, to open your mind to even the way you think. You know what I mean? You don't watch stuff the same. It opens your way of your thought process. You know what I mean? Give you a wider range and how to approach situations. You know what I mean?
Right.
So people don't understand. Like, for example, I could tell based on how a person carries herself, her or himself, like what kind of music you listen to be honest.
Yes,
You know what I mean?
that's true.
I can always tell somebody who into jazz because they just move more, they're more calm, they're more
Yes.
collective, they have more
Intentional.
Exactly, you know what I mean? It's a very intellectual genre. That's why I always love to be around jazz, you know what I mean? it speaks for itself. You know what I
It's
mean?
a good fit. It's a good
yeah,
fit for you,
definitely,
for
definitely,
sure, based on your
definitely.
personality as well. Now, you and your sister, the beautiful Gabrielle, I mean, singing sensations forever.
Yeah.
I don't even think it's fair that God gave this whole family the talent of
thanking
music.
God, man.
I
We
mean,
thanking
y'all
God.
took all of
We
it.
thanking God, man. We thanking God.
But just tell me about growing up with Gabrielle. You know, did you guys have talent competitions? You know, what was that
Well,
like?
let's be honest, man. Gary couldn't get along to be all the time. You know? We couldn't really get along, man. Like, Gary would fight if Gary on the phone with one of her girlfriends. And you know, like back then they had them what it was, them internet cables. I can't remember the name exactly, but like I would plug it out. I would plug it out, man, because
You're unfair.
I was I was just really a boy. I was a boy. I was a boy. So that's what boys do. You know what I mean?
She
We
gave
got
the girl a hard
sisters.
time.
Exactly. I didn't have a brother, so I had to look at, you know what I mean? I had to
Yeah.
do something, you know? So,
Gabrielle, I hope you got him back to that. Yeah, that's cool.
but yeah, well, we used to fight and what's not, but we always love each other still, obviously, you know what I mean? And the whole thing with the music now, Gabby would have this mixed craft at home, and she would do her little things. And then she would always be like, Brent, come at me, do a little something. So now I would get my guitar, and I would just record in a cheap computer mic, you know what I mean? And then we just do our own thing, and then I lay over it and just turn over the guitar and do like a little beat, you know what I mean, to it. And then,
So you guys really complimented each other.
yeah, man, and I think for some reason, I think we're super effective when we're together, you know what I mean? Like, it's just more of a beautiful song together than, that's how I feel, you know what I mean? That's how
The
I
both of
feel.
y'all together, just electric.
Yeah, man.
Really great
yeah.
combination. I
I
know
love
you
I
guys-
love that combination too, to be honest.
Yeah, must feel really blessed, you know?
Yeah, man, definitely.
Now the album is here.
Yes,
it's
it is.
streaming on all digital platforms.
That's correct.
Again, people are just really going crazy about this. I mean, it's a big deal. It's not a song.
Yeah.
It's an album. So just tell us about that.
So, Air Food, let me show you how Air Food actually came about. In 2018, right, me and Terrence, my good friend Terrence Needs, an awesome drummer, y'all can check him out too, same way. We were just in the Jeep cruising, driving along, and we heard this guy's stuff. This dude got like a bunch of Grammys, by the way, you know what I mean? Like he got a bunch of Grammys under his
Right.
belt. And we heard it, and I was like, yo, this making Grammys, not to diss the guy in music or anything, you know, but I'm just saying it's how it was so simple.
Yes.
Like it's so
I get
simple
it.
to make music, and it's so effective that he could get Grammy. What we can't do that, you know, like what
We're
we can't do that.
limitless.
So
Right.
me and Terrence, at the time Terrence we were at the studio, you know, we were schooling. So we just decided to do our own thing, you know, that we just did our own thing, and we did all the tracks like literally in a week. I kid you not. Like,
You
we
said
did
this is back in 2017?
2018,
2018.
November. Yeah, 2018. We had to do
Nice.
everything. We had to do everything like in a week.
One drop.
One time, you know what I mean? Like we did like 13 tracks. We left 8 on the album, but we were like 13 and we just subtract like what we wanted and then we just put it on the album itself, you know? And the thing is for me too, why I actually launched it in 2020, this whole thing with COVID and what's not.
Right.
For me, it was like, you know what, Brent? Stop and focus on yourself. You know
Right.
what I mean? Because I've been producing for so many people, like it's really ridiculous. I actually did the maths. I actually produced since 2014. I produced 17 albums, right? 17
Wow.
albums, and I ain't talking about like 6 songs on an album, like I talking about like 16
album.
songs sometimes on one album, and
A lot more.
I produce it. And not to be boastful or anything, but just saying that I've been putting so much work to everybody else, you know what I mean? So I was like, you know what, it's time to actually focus on you, Brent. You
And
know
that's
what
this phase gave you, the
I mean?
time,
Yeah,
and
the
the
time
intention.
to actually focus on like Brent Hoyte itself, you know what I mean?
All
that's
right.
from me.
So quite a number of songs. Tell us about the songs on the album.
The song choices, it varies. We have like ballads, we have simple ballads, and me playing piano ballads, and we have like the hardcore jazz. It's like what the jazz heads would really like, you know what I mean? It's kind of mainstream because the thing is with jazz, it's not a very popular genre, you know? It's not a very
Right.
popular genre. So I'm trying to make jazz kind of cool again, you know what I mean? In terms of like everybody, like I'm making it mainstream in a sense that an average person can kind of understand it and relate to it, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna blame the other heads like the real jazz heads who just
Right.
like, yo, hitting a jazz straight. And the thing is, some people just can't understand it because it's just too much. So I'm trying to make it a more not watered down, but a more way that everybody,
Digestible.
yeah, easy for everybody to understand.
Got it.
Yeah.
Well, what's your favorite track?
My favorite track, honestly, I kid you not, I would say is Music to God and the interlude. I like the interlude.
The interlude.
love
So
the
Music to God. Can't let you leave without giving us a nice little clip. Just give us a little snippet. Give us a little something.
With my voice, you mean? With my
Yes.
voice? I
I'm
mean,
putting you on the spot, Brent.
oh wow. But hey, what? Since this the good thing about being a musician, right? We have to improvise wherever we go. We have to improvise. I teach all my
right.
kids, you know what I mean, at home with Music Academy. That's a plug, by the way. You know what I mean? That
Hey.
we have to improvise. You never know when you go improvise. So with that said, I have an instrument in my voice, and I have my feet. I have my hands. So we're gonna do. Music
All
to God.
right, let's go.
Alright, let me slow down a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom.
Genius.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I mean, you
Improvise,
can
man.
do that on spot. What else can't you do?
Yeah.
Incredible album. And I'm sure it's been a long time coming. Like you said, this started back in 2018. But speak to some of the persons, that really complemented the process for you.
For me, the biggest one, honestly, I would say Terrence Neal. Like, Terrence Neal always driving me. And it's so funny because he was one of my past students in high school, you know what I mean? And I was kind of pushing like, yo,
Wow.
you know what I mean? And it's so funny the whole life that just changed. And here it is, he's telling me, yo, you got to work on air food. What going on with air food? You finish the mix, you finish such and such, you finish put on what you got to put on. And he was always literally like just in my ear, like, yo, you got to get this air out, man. You got to get air food out. You got everybody here air food. So I would say Terrence Neal was definitely that driving force for getting me air food out. Like just getting it out on a whole. I want to big up Sean Black. Sean Black, he did an artwork. That's how the air with the ice
The
cream
graphic
cones.
is super cool.
That's just, don't get me started.
So
John.
deep.
Don't
Look
get
at
me
it.
started
I
at
mean,
all. He's just a beast, Jeff. Sean Black.
amazing.
Yeah, it's crazy. Obviously, my boy Jugu, my brother, he did the mixing and the mastering for me. He made it his own. Even the vocalist Kendra Penwa on it, Gabriel Dene. We also had Kamau Georges on it. Dylan Vanderpool, those guys he actually fly.
Wow,
Dylan
what
actually
a
flying from
combination.
Panama to actually be on this track here, you know what I mean? So in that same week range too, you gotta understand, in that same week range, he flew from Panama and put his stuff down in the studio. And I just want to
So
say a
blessed.
really big shout out to those guys, and also to Brandon Powell. He's also the bassist on one of the tracks too as well.
All right. Brent, one of the things I think is refreshing about you is the fact that you're so young and incredibly talented, of course, and you seem very responsible, a committed family man, a musician. So many elements to go over when you think about Brent the man. But you're also, like you said, a very proud Christian. How defining has your religion been in really determining the course of your life and the decisions you've made, especially at such a young age?
It's my everything, you know what I mean? My whole life is based off the Bible, you know what I mean? And one of the main reasons why I think I'm here to which part I am is because for the most part I've been listening, you know what I mean? I've been doing.
Right.
So I don't just read the Bible, you know what I mean? I just read for reading's sake. I read and try and make it practical in my life, you know what I
Right.
mean? So for me, like my Christianity is everything, you know what I mean? Because I like for me, I've seen people who I started out with, like who just like way beyond me, you know what I mean? Like yo, like ridiculously like talented, you know what I mean? Almost the same talented as me, or even more, you know what I mean? And they just for some reason they fall off because of the poor decisions that they made in life. You know what I mean? But it was like hanging around the wrong company and all that kind of stuff there. And for me, it's a humbling experience, to be honest, man. Like just like how God has given me opportunities to actually, even to be here on 284 Media, this is like a big deal, you know what I mean? It's like huge. You know
You're
what
a
I mean?
big deal, Brent. We love having you here.
Yeah, man. But I just to show you, like, you know what I mean, it's just a cool feeling that God put you on platforms to get, you know what I mean, his word out and your stuff, your agenda out too at the same time, you know what I mean? It's a really cool feeling. So Christianity is everything for me. That's why I practice.
I love the fact that with your music, or your approach to gospel, that is, it's so different and it's so inviting and it's so relevant and contemporary and it's so fitting for young people.
Yeah.
But I also know that, I mean, for all people, but really connecting to young people in a very special way. But I also know that you've received some criticism over your approach. So speak to us about that a little bit.
Obviously, with the good you're doing, they're gonna always be bad. That's just the reality. And the thing is, for me, especially there's one version of Brent, but it's like different streams of under that one version of Brent. Like for example, there's Brent, a jazz musician. There's Brent, the radio person. And let's be honest, jazz is not a very popular something, as I said earlier. So now with rhythm now, everybody knows rhythm. You know what I mean? It's all culture. You know.
Right.
So for me, when I did the rhythm thing in church, at first, let's be honest, like the older heads who were in church, who were very religious, you know what I mean? They wasn't having that. They wasn't like, nah, man, like, man, that's wrong. Like, you going to hell for that. Like, nah. And they were serious, you know. They were dead serious.
They said you're going to hell.
Yeah, of course. They said we're going to hell. But it just showed me that how God will just work, because the same people who say I'm going to hell is the same people who ask me, yo, when you bring out new music, I want my son and my daughter want, I love you, they want, you know what I mean? It's so funny how God will just switch the bad and make it good, you know what I mean? So for me, but I tell anybody, whatever you're doing, if you feel confident in what you're doing, you do it. Don't mind what nobody's saying at first, because eventually, if it's genuine, people gonna connect and mess with you. That's the honest truth. You know what I mean? If it's fake, people always stand fake from real. Understand? But once you keep it real and keep it authentic, boss, everybody gonna follow. Whether you believe it or not, they gonna follow. Let's give them time.
And of course, with God overlooking everything, right?
Of course.
Absolutely.
Of course, man. I'm a good team. I got a good coach.
All right, Brent. Now, as we begin to wind down. We're living a very interesting time. Coronavirus has really changed a lot of things, you know, the way we go about living our lives.
That's the truth.
Our level of normalcy has shifted to something completely different. So how have you been coping, not just as a person, but as a family man? Like, what have you been doing just to not only just stay above the tide, but also remain hopeful in this time?
Hopeful. That's crazy. This whole thing is just, it could be very depressing, you know. And I thank God every day for the gift of music, you know what I mean? Because music naturally, it brings hope. You know what I mean? It brings reassurance. It just brings, the biggest thing is hope for me, you know what I mean? It brings hope. And for me, I know the power of music, you know. So for me, if I feel any sort of depression or anything, like, you know, like, yo, right now my school closed down right now. Obviously, you're not making the money as you used to be making before, you know what I mean? You don't have the streams or income you're getting like normally. And for me, I would just go and play, you know what I mean? I would go and play jazz, you know what I mean? I would go and play jazz.
That's your release.
Yeah, and then it's like you forget everything. You go in a different trance, you know what I mean? It's like you're not even in this, I don't want to say in this war, but you're just by yourself. You know what I mean? So that's my thing. Like for me, music is always that thing for me, you know. And let's be honest, I don't know if you realize, but I've been working out, you know what I mean? So the gym is
I see you.
Yeah, the gym is definitely is this whole COVID thing here, Andrew, to be honest, it could be depressing, but you gotta make the better of it. You gotta make the best of it, you know?
Man, I completely agree with
Yeah, you gotta make the best of it. Like, people that ask me if 2020 canceled, like if it canceled or not, you know what I mean? And I would tell them, no, this is your time to invest in you, you know what I mean? Like for me, I would never think that, I ain't trying to brag or anything, but I would never think I had these here, you know what I mean? I would never think I had these here. But thanks to COVID, you know what I mean, I got something here, and I try and build towards something too as well, same way, you know what I mean? So for me, I would just say invest in yourself, invest in your time, and just make the best out of it. Make the best out of it.
I love that you said that because, you know, I echo the same sentiments. I think while we've been disconnected with everything that's been going on with COVID-19, I feel like it's an equal opportunity for us to reconnect with our dreams, ourselves, you know, our souls, our God, and just really prioritize and figure out what's most important. And I think a lot of persons, well, yes, we've seen the suffering, you know, we've seen the jobs lost, the reduced salaries, the mental impact. We've seen all of that, but equally an opportunity for persons to just readjust, right? Because I think only those who are able to adapt will be able to get through this phase. So good stuff, man. Good stuff. And a whole album?
Yeah, definitely.
We might need to take a break every year. Every year, because we need the music.
That's how I feel sometimes.
Yeah, we definitely need the music to keep coming. So tell persons how they can, of course, download the tracks. I know you're streaming across many platforms. Just give the viewers the link, please.
Yeah, so you can go and type in Air Food, Brent Hoyte, on all your streaming platforms, Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, Amazon Music, Google Play, Tidal, even I think TikTok too as well too, if you want to, you know. So we have all the streams. So you just make yourself available.
All right, viewers, Brent, it was such a pleasure, man. I just want to congratulate you. I think this is a big undertaking. You continue to do it and do it well. You pull in a lot of souls at the same time, and it's just as a young person, from one young person to another, I just think it's truly inspiring, and I just want to wish you all the best. Just continue to do good.
I appreciate that.
All right, viewers, this has been the man Brent Hoyte, brand new album, Air Food. Like he said, you can download all the major streaming platforms, but overall, just an incredible person, a son of the soil, of course, but very talented musically, and overall, just a great person, and we're so grateful for the opportunity to be able to speak with him. Again, tune in this afternoon for our 3 p.m. newscast, and we'll be seeing you then, so thank you so much for joining us.
You want top of power?
You want top of power?
Join the prepaid party with CCT and enjoy more affordable data plans, more top-up promotions, more savings with hero bundles, and more value for your money each and every Tuesday with Top Up Turn Up Tuesday. Visit a CCT store today or anywhere CCT Top Up is sold and top up your phone.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You want top of power?